Hey everybody, it's the boys from the Poi N Soy Podcast. This past week, there was a tragedy that did occur in the state of Texas at a elementary school. Um, as someone who works in childcare, this kind of hit home a lot for me. We do want to send our condolences out to the families that were affected by this tragedy, and I do hope that there is something that kind of gets done to kind of help stop these unnecessary number of school shootings, mass shootings in our country in general. But yeah, we just want to kind of touch on that really quick.
Although we are an entertainment podcast and in no way, shape, or form experts on mental health or gun regulation laws, we do feel it necessary to acknowledge a need for change and hope that in light of these horrific events, we as a nation not let these victims be forgotten or let their deaths be in vain. From us here at the Poi N Soy Podcast, we thank you for listening and hope that you too can be a part of that change. Aloha. Welcome back to the podcast. Today we're talking about the NBA, everything that's going on in the playoffs right now. Unfortunately, the Mavericks got eliminated in the last series against the Warriors, and we are watching the Heat and the Celtics as they play today. I got here with me, my boys. I'm Keone McKeague. This is
Nolan.
And I'm Jared.
And we're going to just get the ball rolling. Guys, there was some heartbreak going on this week. I know all of us are big Luka fans. I'm not going to lie. We all kind of thought it was going to end. It was a somber ending, but it happened. Here we are. The Warriors are moving on to the NBA Finals. Nobody thought that they were going to be there, but they're there. I mean, we thought they were going to be there, but nobody in the media thought that they were going to be there. Nolan, I'm going to kick it off with you. Warriors and Mavs. Luka is now eliminated. What did you see from the game? Did he get his help that he needed? What do you think is going to happen for the offseason heading into right now?
And even though we know that Luka is a great facilitator and he knows when to kind of make sure that he's getting his teammates involved, if you don't have your main option also producing, especially in an elimination game, it's going to show. And you could see he was frustrated. Times he went to the bench, he was kicking the chair, kind of sitting there with his hands in his head in his hands. But yeah, it was kind of exactly what we predicted, what we foresaw happening, other than Jared, who thought the Mavs were going to the finals.
What
an
idiot. Don't hate on Luka,
anyways.
man. And the role reversal in Game 4, where the Warriors missed everything. I mean, nobody could miss in Game 4 for the Mavericks, which is great because in that game, Luka only scored 30. And, Finney-Smith had 23. They had, 6 players in double figures, which was finally nice. Because usually it's just they had 3 players in double figures. And, and then you swing it over to Game 5. Every starter on the Warriors had double digits. And the least amount of points was Looney with 10. If Draymond scoring 17 points, they're probably going to win the game.
Yeah,
exactly.
They're probably going to win the game.
If you score more than 15, you're pretty much, it's a game over.
Exactly. And, and Steph didn't even do that much that game. It was the Clay takeover. It was nice to see Clay be Clay again.
I mean, because Luka on the one-on-ones, he's too talented. I mean, when they put a guard on him, he's too big. When you put a big on him, he's too slow or not as crafty as he is. Yeah, I mean, he's just able to get. I mean, you wouldn't say fast because it's not like he's like moving really quick. It's just because he's so.
He's playing against the big,
Yeah, he just has some unreal finesse when he's playing the game of basketball. But, as we're talking about Luka, we're talking about Steph Curry obviously hitting his stride going into the conference finals, going to the finals. What do you see as some moves that the Mavericks can make in the offseason? We kind of hit on this last week or the last couple podcasts, but we know that Luka needs help. I know you guys have kind of seen some of the stuff that's out there. I mean, I just read one today that was talking about how Zach LaVine could possibly be one of the players that the Mavericks are interested in signing and trading for. So What are your thoughts on some of the players that they could go for? Who do you think would make the best or the most impact for them, and who are some of their most tradable assets? Because that team is pretty filled with random assets. I mean, they got a lot of good contracts. So Nolan, I'm gonna swing it to you first.
I mean, let's say it doesn't work out with the Suns. Ayton on the Mavs could be something that we could look at. I mean, you have a pretty much same kind of facilitating point guard on the Mavericks. You're going to get a lot more touches considering who the team is currently made up of. I think that's the main thing they really need. They can get away for sure with 3-and-D wings. Finney Smith, and you have Bullock, who's not necessarily the best defender, but he gets his hand in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if you guys want to re-sign them, or I don't know what the contract currently is, but if you pick up some more 3-and-D players, maybe a nice stretch 4, because you can't really last long with Powell and Kleba as your front court. It doesn't make much sense. You have Bertans. I'd say give Bertans the green light more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you have to kind of. The Mavericks were doing well at the beginning of the season when they still had Porzingis, right?
And so I think those two would be one of my biggest things that I go after, because Zach can score, that's really gonna help out Luka. I mean, Luka will have the ball in his hand, who cares? But Zach can score from anywhere, and he's super athletic. He can get to the rim. He can create his own shot if he needs to, who else to go after? LeBron James. No.
Yeah, right.
LeBron and Luka. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, buddy.
No.
I should have prefaced this with realistic possibilities.
Who are we trading? I mean,
who are we getting in return for that trade? We're getting Luka.
You could have Powell. Game 4, I would say, just nobody could put the ball in the basket for the Heat. I mean, the last two games, actually, I would say the last 2 games, they scored 80 points, 82 and 80. I mean, the Celtics are just playing good defense. I think they're playing good defense, but I think just shots aren't falling. You have
and Hero's been out.
Yeah, and Hero's been out. Exactly. I mean, your boy Duncan Robinson been getting some minutes though. But just saying, yeah, with Hero being out, I mean,
got 0 points today.
I know, it's all that too.
The saddened
hey, just saying.
He got some minutes.
At least he's getting minutes, man. You got a shot at the boy. You got 24 and 28 minutes. That's the most court he's seen all playoffs. So
that's combined.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Lowry was a game 4 or 5 was his first game back. He went 0 across the board for
4.
his stat line. And it was abysmal. Kyle Lowry's a vet who's been in the playoffs plenty of times. He should be able to, even coming off an injury, not being able to produce at all says something. And the result kind of was on paper right there.
Taking it to a 7.
I'm just gonna take. I'm gonna stay like game by game and just say they're gonna go to 7. They're gonna win this game. I think Jimmy's not gonna let it happen. It's a do or die game for him, and I'm
gonna jump on the Jared train. I'm gonna go against what Nolan says.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Miami Heat gonna win this game.
Keone just wants to be right, so he gets his Warriors Heat final. And as you say that, Jason Tatum makes a 3.
Yeah. I was like, I'm just curious. I just kind of want to see that matchup, to be honest. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have any. I mean, right now maybe not, but you're right. Warrior and Celtics would actually be a really great finals game.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be mad either way, honestly. I was really just hoping that we're going to get a good game, and this year we are definitely going to get a good game regardless of who wins this series. So that's all I'm excited for.
Actual.
The only thing I'm not excited for is the fact that the season is coming to an end and we're not going to have any basketball to talk about. But
Tatum, I don't know if he should have been first team. I know they, like you mentioned, positional wise, they may have needed him to be slid into that forward position. But Tatum has been an all-star this year, but I don't think he was prolific enough to be considered an all-NBA. There's the argument Joel Embiid was second in MVP voting, but he slides down to the second team. It doesn't make sense to me. So I think if I was going to swap someone, I'd say put in Joel Embiid instead of Tatum. Tatum can definitely be a second team All NBA player.
You're talking about who's the best of the best. It should never be position based. I mean, in any sport, you look at volleyball, the all GSAC, right? For our conference, for college coaching, for at Hope, it's not positional. They like if you're a libero and you get on there, it's because you're the best libero. Other than that, it's going to be hitters, setters, middles. You know, it's going to be everybody else. Why? If we can do it at the collegiate level, why not do it at the professional level? Like you said, Embiid deserves to be there, in my opinion.
I'm definitely like on the fence between both of your takes. Not that I'm not choosing a side. It's more that I think that
choose a side.
I think you're both kind of right in the sense that I do think it is weird that they're doing these, kind of, it's like participation trophies. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things. Like we didn't grow up in the participation trophy era. We grew up in the you win, you lose. That's it. There's no I was there, I tried. You know what I mean? Like you're a winner.
I was good until the finals.
Exactly. So, but on the other hand, I will say that we just kind of mentioned one of the prime examples was that LeBron had this unbelievable playoff run, and it was halted by what was probably, arguably, one of the greatest teams ever assembled in the history of NBA basketball. And at the end of the day, I mean, there's nothing he could have done, but at the same time, it would have been nice if he, got a little bit of his flowers a little bit, got something just to show that, hey, I did do it through, this conference and tried to make my way to this game. But, unfortunately, they ran into a juggernaut. So in that sense, I do kind of see like it is nice for the players, from the players' perspective, like to get something acknowledging that I did have a really great playoff run. But what era are we in, guys? Who is the face of the NBA? So I will say, I'll preface this by saying that the topic was built around the fact that the game of basketball has evolved toward, obviously, Steph Curry's style of, game. Kids are taking shots from half court now in freaking middle school games. They're trying to like be 3-point shooters and, chuck up these no-look shots and, work on their handles. And you see these videos of kids who are like in 7th grade and all these other things. Like they're dribbling way better than some of these. I mean, geez, I'm just looking at it. I'm like, damn, they dribble better than some of the NBA players back in like the 70s and late 60s. But anyway, so what era are we in, guys? Who for you is the face of this current iteration of baskalball? Because Jared has such a big smile on his
I let Nolan go first. Nolan,
okay,
you can go first because you already know my answer. I mean, it's not even good. I just started laughing the whole time.
No, Ken, I'm just curious, Nolan. You are going to give a real answer, right? You're not just going to say something to make Jared mad. Ooh, here we go.
Stir up the pot.
Nolan, what era are we in? Who's the face?
Russell Westbrook.
Okay. All right, get out of here with that crap. All right.